Welcome to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries, old-fashioned Southern cooking. Hey y'all, welcome back to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries. This evening we are going to make my homemade buttermilk biscuits, and these are so good. So give me just a minute and let me show you how I make mine. Okay guys, let me show you what I put into my homemade buttermilk biscuits, okay? Alright, first of all, I do use 2 cups of the White Lily self-rising flour. Now, if you don't use White Lily, you use whatever kind that you like. I just prefer the White Lily. I like the soft winter wheat. And then you're going to need right about a 1/4 cup of Crisco, or you can use butter. This is totally up to you which one you want to use, okay? And then you're going to need right about a cup of buttermilk, give or take. You might have to add a little bit more. It just all depends on how the dough looks of the biscuits, okay? And you are going to need an iron skillet for this, because when we get our biscuits cut, we're going to put them in a well-greased iron skillet. So guys, I'm going to be putting a lot of Crisco in here, but you're going to see why, because these biscuits will absorb a whole lot of oil, so you have to have enough oil in here, okay? Because you don't want them to burn. And you need to preheat your oven to 500 degrees. These biscuits is only going to take about 8 to 10 minutes to bake. So you just have to keep an eye on them. And remember, everybody's oven is different. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to get these biscuits together. So give me just a minute. Okay guys, here we go. Alrighty, like I said, we're going to grease the skillet, and we're going to do that first. So you want to grease your skillet first, okay? Like I said, we're going to use some Crisco in here. You can use whatever you like. Everybody likes something a little different. Maybe not. About right there. We'll try that and see. Okay? So I'm just going to kind of rub this around in my skillet. I usually do this with my hands, but spatula sometimes works as well. But I usually use my hand to do this, and I probably will. So I'm just trying to get my Crisco spread out in the skillet first. Trust me, you are going to need this much oil, this much Crisco. I've seen some ladies use even a lot more than this. So, alrighty, let me get this all around. You need it all around the sides of your pan. Best you can get it. If you got a little miniature spatula, sometimes they are very helpful with helping you get your grease evened out in your pan. So. But I'll probably go over to my hands myself here in just a minute. Get some of this off of the sides of the pan, because sometimes it just don't get it exactly where I need it to be. So, but it did a pretty good job. So let's get that off of our spatula here first. My hands are clean, and I just take me some Crisco, just rub around in there. Get that skillet greased very well, because you are going to need this amount. I'm telling you, these biscuits do absorb the grease. You won't have hardly any grease in your pan after you get done baking these. Okay, let me get my hands wiped. Basically, you want this skillet white. So I just take some of this off of the paper towel around the edges so it don't, smoke or burn or anything like that. We don't want it to do that. So if there's any around your edges like this, around the top, just kind of grab that, because you don't want that to burn inside your oven. So, okay, I think we're good. Now let me kind of wash my hands, y'all, because I still got that Crisco on there, and I want to get that off real quick. And we're going to go ahead and get our flour in our bowl, but first we're going to sift it. I always sift my flour. I like to do that. Even though sometimes the flour may not look real lumpy, I still like to sift my flour because I think sifting your flour does make a better biscuit. We're going to start out, and we're going to use, you need a big bowl for this. If you have a big Pyrex bowl, use it. And let's go ahead and start with our flour. What we're going to do, we need 2 cups. I'm not going to use my big 1 cup measuring cup. I'm just going to use my half a cup measuring cup because it's a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a half a cup at a time in this, unless it'll hold. If I think I can put a little more, I may. But we're going to start out with a half of the cup. Like I said, you just need 2 cups. And we'll level that off. Make sure that's a little more level. Alrighty, and then I'm just going to dump this into my sifter. And we're going to go ahead and sift this into our bowl till we get it all sifted. Yeah, see there, guys. When you have that, you really do need to sift your flour. But I'm telling you, if you can sift it, it does make a better biscuit. But I just push those little rocky pieces, flour pieces, whatever you want to call them, down in there. So, alrighty, so there's a half cup. Alrighty, here goes. So this makes 1 cup total I've got in here, y'all. Sift that in there. And, you know, some people don't want to fool with sifting, but I don't mind because, you know, really, now that went through good that time. There's a few little pieces in here, but not many as there was. A lot of people don't like to fool with their sifter, but I don't mind because it doesn't take long at all to do it, so. Alright, now we're going to get another half a cup because we need 1 more cup of flour. Okay, got flour all over me, but you're going to when you make biscuits. It's all part of it. Alright, now we need just a half a cup more. Alrighty, y'all, so this right here makes the 2 cups of the White Lily self-rising flour for our biscuits. Alrighty, just that. Unsifting our flour, but we will need a little bit more flour here in just a minute when we go to roll our dough or put our dough out onto our surface. Okay, you know what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our 1/4 cup of our Crisco to our 2 cups of self-rising flour. Get it out. Here's a 1/4 cup. Let me get a little spatula to get this out with. Let's put this over here right now. Okay, guys, we're going to get some of this out. Put this down in our cup until we get right about 1/4. Crisco is what makes your biscuits, I think. Like I said, though, if you like butter better, you can use butter, but I just think Crisco is a good way to make biscuits. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to make sure this is right about a level cup of Crisco, and it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our 1/4 cup to our flour, okay? And y'all, it takes a little time to learn how to do biscuits because I'm going to tell you, it took me a while to learn how to make biscuits. I mean, they just never seemed like they turned out right. But the main thing is, with biscuits, don't overwork your dough, okay? Times I've had to even add a little more Crisco to this, but we'll see as we go, okay? But we might be all right with a 1/4 cup. I think that'd be fine. I usually use sometimes a 1/4 cup, maybe a tablespoon more, or something like that. Alrighty. So I'm going to take a bigger fork that I have. What we're going to do here is we're going to combine our self-rising flour with our Crisco. Okay, but we're going to kind of cut all this stuff into this. But we need to keep cutting it in until it starts to resemble kind of pea size. So when you get to it starting to look like it gets pea size, you know you're good. And then is when you need to add your buttermilk, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do this with this. And sometimes, I mean, you can use your hand to do this, your fork. You can use a blending fork. I don't have one, but I'm going to consider getting one. But just blend that Crisco into your flour, just like this, okay? And just keep kind of turning that bowl until you get all this blended in with your Crisco, or until it starts to get pea size. And you might have to kind of go around in the middle. And I kind of pull mine up on the sides as well. Kind of blend that in just like this. And then I've even used my hand to do it. We want to get this Crisco into our flour till we get to pea size. We're about to get to that pea size look. It's probably hard for you all to see that, but I can tell that we're about to get there. All right, guys, I think we've pretty much achieved that. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some buttermilk out. But I'm not going to pour that whole cup in because I might need a little bit more. So, and sometimes I do use a little extra buttermilk. It just all depends. Alrighty, just make sure you shake your buttermilk up real good. And all we're going to do, we're going to fill this measuring cup up with 1 cup of the buttermilk, okay? Alright, we got it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of drizzle this over our flour and our Crisco. So just start drizzling it over is all you got to do. Just kind of get it wet. Okay. Sometimes I use my hands for this as well. Just all depends. And I've saved about that much, okay, because I'm going to need that. So all you got to do is just mix your buttermilk, your Crisco, and your flour in well. And all we're trying to do here is just wet our flour, okay? You're not trying to do anything else. You don't want to stir this hard. You just want to wet your flour. Now see, I've got some flour down in here, over in here, that is not wet. So we are going to turn my bowl this way, y'all. We're going to add some buttermilk down in there. I'm just going to go ahead and add all that. So finish getting this wet down in here. I kind of move it back and forth a little bit. Kind of pull it off the side of my bowl. And I just sort of just bring it around until everything is, till you get all your flour wet. And you may still have some at the bottom that's not completely wet. But if you do, add you just a little bit more buttermilk, but not much. Because I notice every time I make a biscuit, sometimes it's just different than other times. So, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are done mixing this in. And your dough is going to be sticky, y'all, okay? So don't think you got to have a big dry ball of dough, because you don't, because it is going to be sticky. Okay, guys, I just wanted to share a little tip here. Your biscuit dough should not be dry, and you don't want it to be real crumbly, and mine is all together. Now you may have a couple pieces that may be left behind in the bowl, but you can always just toss them out along with the rest of it. So I just thought I would share that for any of you all out there that is trying to learn how to make biscuits. To flour my surface here, but what we're going to do is shake or tap the side of your sifter. Okay, so you have a good floured surface for your biscuits, because you really need this, guys, for your biscuits. You really do. So we've got our flour on our surface, and you're going to need that. So now you're going to take your biscuit dough that you mixed up, okay, and we're just going to pour this out onto our floured surface. Okay, that's all we're going to do. I'll get this off the fork. Well, it came off pretty good. So, all right. See, guys, this is what I was telling you. You're still going to have something like that in the bottom of your bowl. And I want to take my rings off. So if y'all have any rings on, you may want to take them off, especially working with your biscuit dough. Okay? Because it will get all over your rings, trust me. Alright, guys, so we're going to work this in, but I need to get my biscuit cutter, and I just used an old can. My husband cut this old can out for me, and that's what I use, but you can use whatever you want, or you can drop them in your skillet as well, make drop biscuits. I've even done that. Alright, you're going to take your dough, but first, I about forgot, you're going to want to get some flour in your hands, because if you don't, your flour is going to stick, or your dough is going to stick to your hands. So I put out a little extra flour for that reason. And you're going to work this in, but you're not going to overwork this either, y'all, okay? So be careful about overworking it. So put your little flour on it just like I did. And we're going to fold this in, okay? So pick it up. Just pick your dough up. Kind of push it down. Put some more flour on your hands because you're going to need it. Kind of bring it back down. Get you some flour around your dough. Okay? Don't be afraid to get a little flour on your biscuit dough. It's not going to hurt anything. And then I like to pick it up like this and fold it in. And this can be, guys, this is how you can get layers as well. But I'm not focusing on that right now. And then I take the sides and I fold them over. So try to, just try to fold it 5, 6, 7 times if you can. But keep getting them hands in that flour now. Okay, so I think we folded it enough. We're going to bring it back to the center. I'm going to put a little bit more flour on it. Okay, and we're just going to push it out like this. But now I keep mine in a thicker. I do mine thicker, so I don't roll mine out, y'all. Okay, so this is what I do. I pat it down. I take my can and I get my thickest area and I push down and turn. Okay? Just like that. But I kind of missed that one up. That was kind of, had a layer, but that's okay. And then I do the same thing here. Push down and turn. Okay? And just pull that biscuit out. Just don't twist like this, okay? You don't want to do that. Bring your dough back together. Put you some more flour on your hands. Fold it again. More flour. And then find that thickest spot again, and we're going to cut another one. Okay? So there, and twist. Another one. So stick down in there and just twist one turn, but don't twist. So I've got that back in the center, and I've got it into a thicker dough ball again. I tell you, I do not get this, I don't even get biscuits perfect every time, and I don't think really anybody does. But I tell you, I don't get them perfect. Now, what I usually do with this is I just do this, the last one. I do it myself, and I just kind of fold the dough in a little bit like this. And then I make one by hand because you're not going to be able to cut this out. So just put it in your hand and fold it like I did and make a little biscuit on your own this way without. And there I have my biscuit, y'all. And that's all there is to this. It may not look as pretty as, somebody else's biscuit or something. But these are my biscuits, and this is just how I make mine. And this is the easiest way that I know to explain to y'all how to do it. So now what you're going to do, you're going to get your skillet that you greased, okay, that we greased earlier. You're going to take your biscuits, okay? And you're just going to lay them in this skillet. Just keep them touching, because the more they're touching, the higher they will rise. Okay? Alright, y'all, so what we're going to do, we're going to put these biscuits in. That didn't take long at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in, and we're going to bake them anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to bring them out, and I'll show you what they look like, okay? Alright, guys, I'll be back here shortly.
So soft, so fluffy, and so delicious.
Okay, guys, the biscuits are out of the oven. This is a different kind of butter I'm using. Oops, Lord. Let me get this out, because this is what I'm going to put on them instead of a stick. Stick sometimes a little bit better so you can rub it around on them. But anyway, this butter here is a whipped buttermilk butter. I guess that's how you'd say it. I'm not looking at the container, because all I'm just trying to do is get me some butter on here, because this will make these biscuits so good, this kind of butter. I buy this at Walmart, and I'm going to tell you, it is some good stuff. And but just rub the tops of your biscuits with your butter, because that's what's really going to help them as well. But they bring butter, guys, and this is called, it's a whipped sweet cream buttermilk butter, and I think I might have shared this with y'all during the pot roast or maybe the cornbread video. I'm not sure which one, but this is really good, and I think y'all would like it. Try to give it a try. Like I said, Walmart has it. So, but the biscuits look really good. They did very good, and that's all there is to it, y'all. They're not hard to make. Look at that. Look at them buttermilk biscuits. Don't them look good? And we like ours brown that way. So, and I made by hand. Did really good. So I'm gonna pop this one out of here, and we're gonna see what it looks like inside. So woo, boy, that's hot, 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 guys. Very, very hot. It's okay. Look at there. Look at that biscuit. I don't know if y'all can see it steaming, but it is very, very hot. And we're going to have some eggs and sausage and biscuits for dinner. Sometimes we just like to have our breakfast at dinner time. That's how you do it, y'all, and I hope y'all give it a try. Just keep trying, because eventually you will get it right. So, I've enjoyed this video, and I hope you make these delicious buttermilk biscuits. And like I said, sometimes my biscuits turn out better than other times. I think everybody's does. So anyway, y'all, if you don't mind to go to Cheryl K's Cooking Diaries and like and share and follow, I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't mind to head on over to my YouTube channel as well and like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. So listen, guys, y'all stay safe. Always remember to keep God in your heart and God in your life. Bye.
As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe.